experience of flying the Antigravity A1 is completely different from any other drone I've flown. Once you put these goggles on and start looking around, it feels like you go inside the drone like an FPV drone, but it's super easy to fly, and it has 360-degree obstacle avoidance sensing, and it is under 250 grams with the standard batteries, so you don't have to worry about remote ID or drone registration. But here's where it gets really cool. The A1's camera system has two lenses, one on top and one on the bottom. So instead of the drone carrying a camera, the drone is the camera, because these images are stitched together to make the drone invisible. And with the goggles on, you can see everything that's happening around you as if you were inside the drone. It's like nothing you've ever experienced before, and the best way to describe it is that it feels like you're in the middle of a virtual reality simulator, but it's not VR, it's real life. And since the camera captures the environment in 360 degrees, you can just hit record, get yourself close to your subject, and then grab different angles from a single 360-degree video. But is it right for you? By the end of this video, you'll know the answer to that question. My name's Jason. This is the Colibri FPV channel, where we talk about FPV drones and related tech. If that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe and do me a favor and hit that like button, because it really helps me out. All right, let's get into it. Here's what the A1 will look like when it comes to you. I got the Infinity Bundle, which comes with a very high quality carrying case, 3 extended batteries, the 3-way charging hub, 2 full sets of extra props, and a card reader, aside from all the standard gear. If you decide the A1 is right for you, Antigravity is having a huge sale right now, so make sure to check out the links below, because there's some massive discounts and the first 10 orders get a free battery. And if you buy your drone through the official store, Antigravity has some very good after-sales service. You can return the drone within 15 days of receiving it. They do have an extended warranty, and there's local repair options. So if you decide that this drone is for you, that'll give you a little peace of mind. The A1 is super lightweight, but it still feels solid in my hands. Since the arms fold out, the drone is compact when you need it to be to travel, yet it has relatively large 6-inch props. Here's a size comparison next to a 6-inch FPV drone with the arms folded out and the arms folded in. If you're also looking at the DJI Avata 360, keep in mind that it has 3¼ inch props, and since it's a Cinewhoop design with prop protection, it doesn't fold, it's much heavier, and it's super loud. These larger 6-inch props on the A1 mean you can get better efficiency so you can fly longer. It has a higher cruising speed so you can fly farther. And a lightweight drone with larger props makes much less noise. Here's what it sounds like with the heavier extended batteries. The camera system on the A1 has dual 1/2.8-inch sensors that can film in 8K up to 30 frames per second, 5.2K up to 60 frames per second, or 4K up to 100 frames per second. The videos I got from my A1 are sharp and detailed, and they look fantastic. And that's not a big surprise, because the A1 was co-engineered with Insta360, and the core 360-degree camera technology in this drone isn't new. It's based on Insta360's experience making 360 cameras. Let's put it this way. Flying the A1 with these FPV goggles is like crawling inside of an Insta360 X5 that flies around to capture some amazing angles and perspectives you just couldn't get without a flying camera. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Whenever you set the drone down, make sure to deploy this landing gear so the bottom lens doesn't hit the ground and get scratched. Fortunately, the lenses on the camera are replaceable, and it's a good idea to pick up a set of replacement lenses just in case. Even though the A1 is intuitive and easy to fly, setting up and using a 360 drone, a motion controller, and FPV goggles at the same time can be a little bit overwhelming because these are new concepts and they do take some time to get used to. The A1 software has tutorials built right into it that'll teach you how to use the drone, and I highly recommend going through them at least once. The vision goggles are comfortable to wear, and you can adjust interpupillary distance by sliding these knobs in and out, and you can focus the image to your eyes by turning these diopters. The diopters can be adjusted from -5 to +2, which should cover most people. If you need stronger correction than that, Anti-Gravity does have corrective lenses for stronger prescriptions. The goggles don't have a built-in battery in order to keep them lightweight and comfortable on your face, so you'll have to wear this battery around your neck. The battery can power the goggles for about 2 hours, which was enough for 4 to 6 full flights. The strap is easy to adjust and it locks in place with some super strong Velcro. There is an SD card slot right here, so you can record what you see during your flights. And if you double press the home button on the left side of the goggles, it activates see-through mode, so you can see what's in front of you. This is really handy because you might need both hands to put on the goggles and then get them adjusted to your face and focused. But where did you set that motion controller? Just click twice and you can see what's in front of you without removing the goggles. This grip motion controller is comfortable in your hands, and it's pretty intuitive after you use it for just a few minutes. Instead of using two gimbals like a traditional RC remote, it uses motion sensing, so your hand is the joystick and your movements are translated into commands to the drone. You just point to where you want to go while squeezing the trigger. And if you're new to drones, it's much easier to learn than a traditional RC remote. The controller charges over USB-C, and the battery lasts forever. It'll definitely outlast your goggles and your flight packs. To start the motors, push up twice on this slider button. To take off, push it all the way up and hold it until the slider on the screen is full. Once you're in the air, raising the slider will make the drone ascend, and lowering it will make the drone descend. You can also hand launch the A1, which is handy if you're flying from a location where it's not practical to set up a landing pad. To hand launch the drone, just hold it level in your hand with the landing gear deployed and use the same controls to start the motors and take off. To hand catch the drone, place your hand underneath it and press down on the slider until it recognizes your hand as a landing place. You'll know when this happens because it'll deploy the landing gear and start to land. If the drone doesn't deploy the landing gear, it means it didn't recognize a safe landing point, so try moving to a new location and try again. Just be careful of the props when the drone takes off and lands, and don't try this in high winds because the drone will be bouncing around. If you're new to drones, you should definitely start out with a landing pad, but for advanced pilots, hand launching does have its advantages. Once you're in the air, this really prominent red button right here is like an emergency panic button. A short press will make the drone pause and hold its position, and a long press will make it return to home and land. This rotary dial will make the drone yaw or rotate like this. On the side of the motion controller, you can choose from 3 performance profiles: cinematic, normal, or sport. You can think of them as slow, normal, and fast, but that's an oversimplification. Slow, or cinematic mode, restricts your speed, and it's designed to dampen your movements so you can get smooth, cinematic aerial shots. Just be aware that the drone won't feel very responsive, and it will drift a little bit when you change direction. Normal mode is what it sounds like. The drone has moderate speed and maneuverability, and your obstacle avoidance sensors are active. Sport mode unlocks the maximum performance capabilities of the drone, and it'll make the A1 feel like a racing drone. It's super fun to fly in this mode, but the main obstacle avoidance sensors are not active, so you want to be very careful to avoid obstacles, especially power lines and thin tree branches, which might be hard for you to see. You can activate the OSD by clicking this button on the right of the controller. If you press and hold the button, you pull up a quick menu, which is super useful for making quick changes on the fly. Once the menu is active, the grip controller acts like a mouse to navigate the menus, and the trigger acts like a mouse button to select. The OSD and menu system feels futuristic and it's pretty fun to play with. It feels more like a video game or a tablet operating system than a drone's settings menu, which can be complex and difficult to navigate when you're full of that drone flying adrenaline. The A1 has two different flight modes, free motion and FPV mode. In free motion, the drone is very stable and easy to control. It just goes where you point the controller, and you can yaw or rotate the drone with the horizontal dial on the motion controller. Free motion is great for getting started and for getting some stable cinematic aerial shots. In FPV mode, the drone is much more agile, so it's a lot more fun to fly. Instead of following your whole arm, the drone responds to very subtle wrist movements, and that's what really makes the drone come alive. The rated battery life on the standard battery is 24 minutes, and on the extended battery, it's up to 39 minutes. I'm using the extended batteries, and in my experience, I could comfortably fly for 25 to 27 minutes, landing at around 15 to 20%, depending on how far I flew and how windy the conditions were. And my longest flight with the A1 was 29 minutes, landing at 5% battery. You really don't want to fly your LiPo flight batteries down that low. Drone batteries are expensive and they'll have a longer life if you use them gently. You might notice a high altitude warning on my screen. That's because I live in the Andes Mountains, so I'm flying at high elevation between 10 to 12,000 feet. And I'm usually flying in very windy conditions, and drones are less efficient at high altitude and in high winds, so you can expect longer flight times at lower altitudes and in more ideal conditions. The A1 has a range of 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. For me, that's more of a theoretical limit because I have no need to fly that far away to get the shots I want, and it would be illegal anyway. I care more about penetration, or how well the drone maintains its connection when I fly over a mountain ridge or behind obstacles, and in those situations, it did very well. I took my A1 out about 1 kilometer, which is as far as I can go in a YouTube video without breaking any laws, because it's as far as my spotter can see. And it maintained a perfect connection as long as I had line of sight. Overall, the range and penetration is on par with the best systems out there, such as DJI's OcuSync 4, which is what the DJI Avata 360 uses. The A1 has a 360 obstacle sensing system that warns you when you get too close to obstacles. It has forward-facing sensors in the front and downward-facing sensors on the bottom, and it uses its 360 camera to monitor the environment and detect obstacles from the sides and above. Whenever you make abrupt movements, for example, if you ascend very quickly, you'll see a picture-in-picture view inside the goggles in the direction you're moving, sort of like a car's backup camera. By default, the drone will brake and hover when it detects an obstacle, but you can change that to bypass mode, which tells the drone to find a safe path around an obstacle. I tested the A1's obstacle sensing capabilities by flying up to these power lines, and it did see them. A lot of drone obstacle avoidance systems can't see thin obstacles like tree branches or power lines, so the obstacle avoidance on the A1 is amongst the best out there. The easiest way to manage your footage is with the Antigravity mobile app. You can do things like view your flight logs, do software updates, and change the drone's settings. And you can transfer your files from your drone to your phone. You can also edit the videos either automatically or manually, and you can share them right from your phone. But once you've recorded a lot of amazing aerial videos, you'll probably want to get serious and process them with the Antigravity Studio software. It's intuitive and easy to learn, and it allows you to zoom in and out or move around within the 360 video to keep a subject in the frame. It gives you tons of options to get multiple shots from a single clip, and the creative possibilities are endless. You can also choose your framing, like standard 16:9, vertical 9:16, vertical 3:4, 1:1 square, old school 4:3, or a super cinematic 2.35:1 or CinemaScope crop. Since the A1 shoots 8K video, we have plenty of resolution to play with, so I can crop a 4K image like this, or zoom in and grab a full HD 1080 image like this. Just keep in mind that the more you zoom in, the softer the image becomes. Even 8K has its limits. There's an AI mode that'll frame your shots for you automatically, and the software also allows you to add overlays with the drone's telemetry data. And you can do way more things that I'm not going to get into in this video. It really comes down to your own creativity, because this software gives you the flexibility to do a lot with your 360 footage. Alright you guys, so what's the verdict on the Antigravity A1, and is it right for you? There's a lot to like about this drone. The 360 flying experience is like nothing else, and the creative possibilities of a flying 360-degree camera are endless. And I can also think a lot of practical uses, like filming a race where it's hard to keep a subject in frame, inspecting a construction job where you need to see different things at the same time, or even surveillance of an event where you need to monitor everything at once. The range and penetration are also very good, and if anything does go wrong, like if you get stung by a bee or if you accidentally unplug your goggles battery, the drone's software is packed with safety features, and you can just activate return to home and the drone will come back to you and land safely. The quality of this gear is also very good. Everything feels solid and well built, like it'll take some abuse and serve you for a long time. And interacting with the A1's OSD and menus through the goggles and this motion controller make the drone really fun to use. It's not just an update to drone software, it's a completely new ecosystem that combines the excitement of flying FPV with the ease and control of a traditional camera drone. But there are some things that you do need to be aware of if you're considering this drone. First, the 360 video files that this drone creates aren't just standard video files like you'd get from a normal camera drone. They do require post-processing. You can't just pull them off the drone and share them right away like you would with a normal camera drone. Fortunately, Antigravity's software is very good. The mobile app makes this process fast and painless, and the desktop app is very powerful. And you can do some amazing things with this software, but just keep in mind that if you go with the 360 drone, you really have to put in the editing time. I also think that more experienced pilots are really going to miss not having a traditional remote for better control over the drone's movements. Hey you guys, Jason from the future with a quick update. Antigravity just told me that they are working on a traditional remote controller for the A1, but it's not available as of the making of this video. If anything changes, I'll leave a pinned comment below. To be fair, this motion controller is much more intuitive if you've never flown a drone before, and it is easier for new pilots to learn on. And even though this 8K camera produces some excellent quality photos and videos, since all that resolution and megapixels are spread across a 360-degree canvas, I think some aerial photographers might prefer a traditional camera, which will always have the potential to get better quality photos and videos because the sensor is concentrated on that single frame that your eye actually sees. The bottom line is that there's a ton of innovations in this drone, in these devices, and the overall 360 experience. And if you're after a drone that's a ton of fun to fly and can get some very cool aerial shots, the Antigravity A1 may be worth a look. What do you guys think of this drone? Why is it or isn't it the right drone for you? Did I miss anything in this review? Let me know in the comments. I love talking drones with you guys. All right, that'll do it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.